everyone, this is Battlebots Explained, and we're gonna do something a little bit unique and different this time. There's this one particular tool that I used a long time ago. It was, say, 3-4 years ago, actually. Goodness, it's been a long time since I even opened up this particular program. It's called 3D Builder by Microsoft, and I used to make a lot of different 3D models in this software, including some different BattleBots that I saw back when I first got into the sport. So today I'm going to go over with you guys a few different 3D models that I made, and yeah, just show you guys some of the things that I was able to build with the 3D Builder. So guys, hope you guys like this video. If you do, please leave a like on the video and also subscribe. And guys, I do have the links in the description to Amazon and also to my various different ebooks that I've made, including the Ultimate Edition of How to Build the Best Bots, so please check that out. Okay, so let's look at our first bot now. And of course, when it comes to BattleBots, I have to start out with Tombstone. I mean, of course. So here is Tombstone. He was one of the first 3D models that I didn't make, however I have significantly upgraded him over time. The original version that I had, the point was too pointy, this triangle was too pointy, the bar wasn't made properly, and the proportions were a little bit off. But now Tombstone looks pretty good, all its proportions are right, the bar looks pretty accurate. In fact, I can actually use the rotate tool and spin him a little bit. And I know this isn't exactly as realistic or as interesting as the gameplay or as even the LEGO BattleBots series, but it's just something for me to show you guys some different 3D models I made way back when. I seriously doubt that you guys are going to actually know what this bot is, but basically guys, this is the original Titan. Yes, I actually went through many different iterations of Titan before I actually came up with the design I have today. And as you can see with the writing on this bot, I made this bot several years ago. It still has Titan's name on it. This was originally designed to be Titan. It was a 6-wheel drive, a drum spinner with a you can actually go underneath in 3D Builder, and it looks kind of interesting to have a down-up perspective. But yeah, this Titan was basically a interesting little bot in a few different ways. It's a very kind of an odd bot. You don't see that many 6-wheel drive bots nowadays. I know that there's Gruff and Sewer Snake and a few different others, but in general you don't see very many 6-wheel drive bots. So I wanted this robot to have a lot of pushing power and also have the wedge in front to handle spinners, and finally this big powerful single-tooth drum. But there's not too much to say about this old Titan. It's still a pretty good bot, but it's not exactly as good as the newest version of Titan, which I'll show you in just a second. But if you guys were wondering what was the first ever 3D model that I made in this thing, where I started, well, here it is. This is a little bot called Rampage, and yes, I know I misspelled Rampage. It says Ramage. Trust me guys, I meant to call it Rampage. I don't understand why I named it Ramage instead. So this Rampage, you know, I'm just gonna call him Ramage because why not? So Ramage was a pretty interesting little bot when I first made him. Just a simple little box with 4 wheels and a wedge on front. It was basically me just taking the basic shapes of 3D Builder and just figuring out how they work, figuring out how all the tools worked. So here's Rampage, Ramage, whatever you want to call him. Simple little wedge bot. He was my first bot I ever made in 3D Builder, so I'm pretty happy with him actually. So guys, this is the Titan that you guys will more than likely recognize. Yes, the most recent Titan that I've been showing off on my channel, where it has the curved front, it has the self-riding arm. I was actually able to put a big Titan logo on the back. It does have the big single-tooth disc that I've really been wanting Titan to have for a long time. If you guys are wondering, yes, Titan was inspired by Death Roll 259 and another robot. One robot that not too many of you know. There's this one robot called Uppercut from Robo Games. I think it was 2018, 2019. It may have been 2019. I can't quite remember, but I think it may have been 2019. Robo Games Uppercut came there. Not the Uppercut from Battlebots, it's a different one. It's very similar to Titan actually. It's just a big box. It had 2 wheels in the back and it had a single tooth disc just sticking out maybe 6-7 inches forward. It was a pretty good bot. It did pretty well in Robo games that year, and that was partially the inspiration for Titan's single-tooth disc. So yeah, here is the updated Titan, at least the 3D model, the updated Titan for the 3D models. I think it looks pretty good. But of course, guys, I would like to get into some other robots that you guys will definitely know. So here is Whiplash. I made this Whiplash 3D model right after Season 3 of the real Battlebots ended, right after Discovery Season 3 2018 ended. Whiplash was easily my favorite robot from that season. Really enjoyed seeing this robot, and it's just a quick little 3D model I made of him. It says Whiplash on both sides. I actually spelled it right, thankfully. And yeah, it's a very simple bot. The disc does spin, kind of, if you use the rotate tool. And yeah, it's a very simple build, at least from what I think about it. And I think it looks pretty good. And yeah, there's not really much for me to say about these different 3D models, really, because they don't actually really function. I can't drive them around or anything. It's just me showcasing them. So here is Whiplash. I think I did a pretty good job. Now, if we're going to talk about Whiplash, we of course have to throw in Bite Force there too. So here is the Bite Force 3D model that I made, and right off the bat you'll notice that this was definitely one of my earlier 3D modeling endeavors, really, because this Bite Force actually has a lot of problems with them. The wheels are not in the right position. They should be a little further out, and the proportions are a little bit off, and weapon isn't as accurate. But I didn't get one thing right, though, or two things right. The first thing is I definitely got right about his ears. Bite Force's ears, I think those look pretty decent. And also, he does have the 4 forks, so I mean, this was, as I said, it was kind of one of my earlier 3D models, but I think it still looks pretty good, and I'll probably update this Bite Force pretty soon, actually, probably right after I finish this video. But guys, how about I end the video with a robot that I'm sure a lot of you guys know that has become especially good on my channel and has been very successful on my channel. It's Sawblaze. Okay, first of all, before I talk about Sawblaze, keep in mind I made this Sawblaze right after I saw him in the 2018 season. I was just getting used to the 3D modeling and how it worked, and that buzzsaw is actually not in the center. That buzzsaw should actually be moved just a little bit, so actually let me do that right now if I can, just to show you guys how this 3D modeling software works. There we go. Now the saw is in the center. So yeah, Sawblaze has done really well in my LEGO Battlebots series. Big spoiler alert for those of you who have not watched it. Sawblaze has won Season 1 and also Season 3 of LEGO Battlebots so far, and to be honest, he really deserved it. He did incredibly well in both of those seasons, and quite frankly, he's a bot that's very difficult to stop. So here is a 3D model of Sawblaze. It's based off of the 2018 version of Sawblaze. And yeah, I think I did pretty good on it. The only problem is that 3D Builder, it doesn't exactly have the best options when it comes to coloring the robot. You can color individual shapes, but you can't color parts of those shapes. For instance, if I wanted to make just the tips of Sawblaze's prongs green, I couldn't do that. I would have to make the entire thing green. So yeah, there are definitely some limitations with 3D Builder, but I had a lot of fun with it, and it was basically the only way I could build robots digitally until I came across Robot Arena 2. So guys, that's gonna do it for all of my little 3D models that I made so far, or at least this particular video, because I may do a few more videos in the future of them. Please give a like if you like this video, and check out all the links in the description for my ebooks and also the links to Amazon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.